All right, guys, so we got through chapter 1. It's time for chapter 2. We're going to start off by talking about expressions and number problems. What we're going to be doing today is they're going to be describing equations to us, and we're going to have to write those. It says translate each phrase into a variable expression. And guys, you can use whatever variable you want. It's going to talk about a number, and we don't know. It's easier if you just keep it at x. Generally, you guys are more comfortable with x, so that's what we're going to use today. But if you want to use y, w, p, it really doesn't matter to me. Let's look at number 1. 12 more than a number. Well, more than means increasing, so we must be adding. Now it says a number, and it says 12. A number is going to be our x value, and then obviously we're going to use 12 for 12. So it's 12 more than a number. Or you could write that as a number plus 12. Either way is perfectly fine. But you need to be careful. When we have addition, you can flip-flop them like that, but when we have subtraction, you can't. So you need to pay really close attention to what we do in number 2. Number 2 says 8 less than a number. Less than implies subtraction. In fact, you could even do this. If you're using less than, we can kind of convert that to subtracted from. And it makes more sense if you say that. Like, I have 8 subtracted from a number. That means I'm going to have my number, and I'm going to subtract 8. Now, you have to be really, really careful, because 8 minus x is not the same thing. When you're doing your homework or when you're working on some of these problems later in the notes, you need to realize that you can look back at these and see how it's written. Okay? You've got to use your notes or you'll never get these. That brings us to number 3, which is written more how the equation will look. It says 6 decreased by twice a number. So that means I'm going to decrease 6. So I have to start with 6. I'm going to subtract. We know a number is x. Well, twice a number is 2x. So if you see something on your homework or in the notes that we're about to do that looks like that, look back and see what we did on number 3. Let's go to the next page. Or I'm sorry, not the next page. How about number 4? Number 4 says 9 times the sum of a number and 3. Sum is addition, and I want to start with that, okay? I know that my number is x, and to get a sum of a number and 3, it's x plus 3. But it wants us to multiply that whole sum by 9. So I get 9 times x plus 3. So be careful when you see one that looks similar. Look back and see what we did on this one. Number 5, 7 less than or 7 subtracted from 3 times a number. Well, if our number is x, 3 times that would be 3x, and I have 7 subtracted from that, so 3x minus 7. Let's look at number 6. The difference between a number and 11. Difference, guys, is another word for subtraction. Okay, so we're going to be subtracting here. Well, it's kind of in order. They want a difference between a number x and 11. So I'm going to have x minus 11. Then let's look at this last one, number 7. 3 times the difference of a number and 7. Now let's start with the difference of a number and 7. Difference, again, is subtraction. Okay? So we're going to be subtracting. We're going to use a number, and we're going to subtract 7 from it. The difference between a number and 7. But we want 3 times that whole thing. So 3 times x minus 7. Now this front page is really, really important. When you're working on your homework, you need to have this next to you because the wording on your homework will be exactly the same as your notes. Use your notes. Let's go to the back page. Now, these have different directions. It says solve. So what we're going to have to do back here is write our equations, then we're going to have to solve them. So when we finish, it's going to be x equals a number. So let's look at number 8. If a number is decreased by 10, we actually saw that on the last page. We're going to have a number that is decreased by 10. Then it says the result. That means equals negative 21. So the number, if a number is decreased by 10, it equals negative 21. Now, we just need to solve that. We've been doing that since the beginning of school. I'm going to add 10 to both sides. The 10s on the left cancel and leave me just x. Negative 21 plus 10 is negative 11. And you have to be real careful here, guys. If you miswrite the equation, you're going to miss the answer and you're going to lose lots of points. So pay attention and look at your notes. Let's go to number 9. It says if negative 32 is subtracted from a number. We also had one that was almost exactly like this on the other page. We're going to have a number and we're going to subtract from it negative 32. The result, or it will equal, negative 52. Now, I don't know what y'all have heard in 8th grade, but this is the first time we've been looking at this negative times a negative, really. And what we call it in Comanche is a boom, boom. A negative times a negative is a positive, boom, boom. Okay? So I really have x plus 32 equals negative 52. Now we can solve this by subtracting 32 from both sides. The 32's cancel, and I get x equals negative 84. Watch your arithmetic there. Don't mess up the negatives. Let's do the last problem and we'll be finished. Now this one's a little bit different. It says 5 less than 1/2 of a number. Well, 1/2 of a number is 1/2 x, and we need 5 less than that. It says here that that is 18. That's another word for equals. So this equals 18. Now we just need to solve it. I'm going to add 5 to both sides. This isn't necessarily the first thing you have to do, but it's a good start. That leaves me with 1/2 x on the left because the 5's cancel, and 18 plus 5 is 23. Now we just need to clear the fraction. So I'm going to multiply both sides by the denominator, 2. Well, those 2's cancel out and leave me 1x, or just x, and 23 times 2 is 46. Guys, this isn't something that should just be natural and just come right to you. It's something that you have to look at and practice and read. If you don't put in the effort, this is going to be really complicated. If you do put in the effort on this homework, it's going to make it really easy when we take the test over it. So if you have any questions, find me and let me know. If not, good luck.